ช่วงนี้พบกับคุณเทพชัยหย่องในช่วงข่าวภาษาอังกฤษกับไทย PBS World ค่ะ
Good evening and welcome to Thai PBS World. Now that the task of hosting the ASEAN Summit is behind him, Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha can now devote his full energy to finalizing his cabinet lineup. And according to what he told his ASEAN counterparts, everything should be in place next month. But even before that happens, Prayut has made a very bold promise. But it's a promise that many doubt he can keep. Whether he likes it or not, for many people, these are moments that will be most remembered from his first term in office.
ใครคุณคนถามไหมถามไปตลอดทางไหมเนี่ยใครไอ้ถามคำถามแบบนี้แหละก็อยู่กับการเมืองของเธอไปเถอะ
And it would not be a surprise if these would have ended up in the media hall of shame. But now that he is starting his second term, this time as Prime Minister of a democratically elected government, Prayut apparently understands that he needs an image makeover. Last Friday, Prayut declared that from now on, in his own words, he will be a well-behaved Prime Minister and will not pay attention to what is not important. It is interesting that he chose to make the promise while delivering the keynote speech at the ASEAN Business Summit, part of the ASEAN Summit of which Thailand was host. Well, nobody knows for sure whether his choice of audience for the promise was deliberate, but it's still a promise anyway. The question now is, how serious is he this time? People close to him told Thai PBS World that Prayut is well aware that his temperament is his worst enemy. But the problem is that his attempts to control his temper have always been short-lived. And certainly, this is not the first time that Prayut promises to be more tolerant, especially with reporters. On numerous occasions, he admitted that he was easily agitated and offered to be more patient even if confronted with unpleasant questions from the press. And this was a promise he made as early as 2016, 2 years after he was in power.
ปีหน้าผมก็จะให้ของขวัญตัวเองเหมือนกันนะปีหน้าผมจะพูดน้อยลงนะหงุดหงิดน้อยลงทะเลาะนักข่าวน้อยลงนะต้องทำตัวเป็นกูลกายแล้วนะไม่ได้แล้ว2 ปีแล้วแล้วทำไมแผนใหญ่มันไม่มีหรือไงเขาทำมาตั้งนานแล้ว
Prayut said in one of his Friday night programs that he often felt irritated because of work pressure and vowed to be less grumpy and avoid clashing with reporters as a New Year's resolution. He was as good as his word for a few days before the old angry hectoring Prayut got the better of him again. The same pattern of emotional implosions followed by apologies and promises of better days, repeated itself over and over. People close to him and even senior army officials responsible for public relations for the government admitted that advising Prayut what to say and how to react to journalist questions was an extremely difficult task. Accustomed to issuing orders all his life as a career soldier and also because of his personality, Prayut would not be easily open to suggestions he doesn't like or doesn't want to hear. In Thai military tradition, once you are subordinates, you wouldn't want to contradict your bosses. However, people close to him insisted that Prayut does want to turn over a new leaf, given that soon he will no longer be the leader of a military junta with unchecked executive powers. And from now on, he will have to rely on support from elected politicians who can make things difficult for him.
ท่านนายกเตรียมตัวยังไงบ้างคะ
เตรียมอะไรแล้วผมทำงานมา5 ปีเตรียมมาแล้ว
ก็คือต้อ
And
งการ
of course,
ที่จะอยู่
in the new political environment, the media will be more relentless than before in questioning him on every available occasion. And with the coalition government that has a razor-thin majority in the House, Prayut will certainly face more challenges than he did the past 5 years, which means a lot more questions from journalists that he will have to answer. People in his inner circles are only hoping that Prayut would try harder this time to control his temperament and praying that his smiles that were so ever present throughout the ASEAN summit will stay with him. And that's it for Thai PBS World tonight. Thank you for watching.